Hello and welcome to a special edition of Do You Know the Score? I'm Gavin. Jordan is away this week. We were going to have a week off, but with what happened with the Spurs Liverpool game at the weekend, I wanted to jump on and join in and give my thoughts because I know there's been a lot of talk over the past couple of days. As a Liverpool fan watching this game, I was excited. Then obviously very, very disappointed with the result, with what happened during the game with the officiating, but immensely, immensely proud of the players. The mentality they showed to get through that is just second to none. It's so good to see. Very, very exciting. So the game itself started off okay. I thought Spurs did very well. I thought Liverpool did very well when it was 11v11. Both teams created chances, and it was exciting. Then the first incident happened, 20-something minute, when Curtis Jones went in for a challenge, went in for a tackle. You can see from the image I'm showing on the screen here where he went for the ball, the Spurs player went for the ball. They were both going for the ball, either side. Then Curtis Jones' foot slipped over the ball and caught the Spurs player clean on the ankle. Looks like stud showing. The yellow card was shown. I thought that was a good decision. A yellow card there. There was no intent. It was a 50-50 challenge. Both players were stretching for the ball. Curtis went over, and as a result, probably should get a yellow card for that. The ref showed the yellow card. Then the VAR team decided they were going to intervene and suggest that the ref took another look at it. Okay, that can happen. That's fair enough. Where I take issue right now is the image they had on the screen when the center ref got to the screen. There's a way of portraying something to put across what you want, and this actually reeked of it. If you show the referee, the center ref, when they get to the screen, the incident, and then you want to slow it down and you want to highlight something, okay, but you've got to give some context. What the VAR team did very cleverly was show the impact moment where the studs were showing and right up against the ankle. And that's the still frame they had. So when the referee got to the screen to watch the replay, that's what they saw. That's the first image you see. That's the impression you've got of the whole situation. They then decided to show it in slow motion, back and forth at the moment of impact. They didn't go back to before to see the challenge, to see both players stretching for the ball, both players fairly going for it, and Curtis Jones unfortunately slipping over the ball with no intent whatsoever, which then made the referee think, I should go with the stud showing a tackle. Now, if the tackle had gone in with malice, like the image that the VAR team decided to show showed, then absolutely red card. I mean, you're looking at that point, a full pelt probably would have broken the guy's leg or the ankle. There would have been a bone break at least there. It made it look like it was a horrendous tackle, something which it was not. So the pressure then put on the referee at that situation and the recommendation of it should be a red for the studs showing tackle made him change his mind. I think that was an unfair decision by VAR. Calculated, probably, for whatever their reasons are, they decided that they were going to change what the referee thought. So the referee had already established, given a yellow card, so that had been issued. Then it was changed. That's important for in a minute. So something happened, precedent was shown, and then it was changed based on VAR saying, wait a minute, you've made a mistake, in their opinion. So then we roll on, and of course, Spurs score. Great. We score. Actually, no. I think Diaz, I'll have to check this. Luis Diaz might have scored his goal first. I'll have to check that one. So, yeah, then Salah put forward Diaz. Great time. The timing of the run was fantastic. Got put through, scored the goal. Great stuff. Then the whistle was blown for offside because that's what the assistant referee felt. Now we've heard the audio since, and you can clearly hear the assistant referee saying about that he's going to call the offside or holding, whatever he says, and then he says offside. The centre ref confirms offside, right? We're holding it back. We're going to send it to VAR. So the VAR room had all that audio. You can tell from the audio that's been released that they heard what was happening on the field. There was so much chaos in that room with the I think it's Darren England was the head VAR. There's an assistant VAR. Then there's a VAR operative. I'm understanding is a third person who was the one that was taking the instructions of what to show on the screen, go back and forth, show the lines and whatever. And then there was another person that they referred to as, I think, Ollie or something like that they were referring to. So they call the play stop to check for offside. Clearly, you can see, if you were paying attention to the game, you can see the shoulders of Diaz go down and the disappointment. He didn't celebrate fully. The Spurs fans in the stadium were cheering because obviously the goal was chalked off at that point. And then the VAR were then looking to check on it, right? So they were looking for the foot of Diaz for the run, and then they were looking. I think they were talking about his Basuma might have been playing him on. I'm not sure who it was. And then they said, right, draw the line there, and then they moved the line back, and then they go, yep, that's fine. Call confirmed or whatever it is they say, and the ref says, all right, then chalk it off. And they didn't realize, the VAR officials did not realize at that point that the referee had said, all right, we're calling that one off. Now, the excuse afterwards has been that they thought they were calling it as an onside goal. So all these elements that lead them to making the decision clearly show that the goal was chalked offside when they were making the conversation. If you indeed say that they ignored all of that or didn't hear all of that or weren't paying attention to any of that, and then they called it, right, that's call confirmed, we're happy with that, continue, and they heard the referee saying offside, off you go, and then the ball was kicked, why did they not then say that doesn't, no, I said it was onside? Right? It doesn't make sense because the camera operative was the one, not the VAR, not the assistant VAR. It was the camera operative at that point that says, hang on, they said it was onside. Are you happy with this call? Oh, sorry. They said it was offside. They called it offside. Are you happy with this call? And it gave the 20 odd seconds going by where they were trying to mentally compute what this person had said. This person, the camera operative, who's not a VAR official, managed to understand that they'd made a mistake and ask them, are you happy with that? Are you happy with that? So these people that we've got in charge of VAR, Darren England and the other people, they ignored what was on the field or weren't paying attention to what was going on the field, made a wrong decision quickly and frivolously saying, yep, that's fine. The blasé way they were talking. It's infuriating as a fan to hear that. And then to be asked several times by the camera operative, not the VAR, not the assistant VAR, by the camera operative in with them. Are you sure? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? And they go, was that what and then they started swearing because they'd realized they'd made a mistake. Then the ball goes out of play. Then someone else, Ollie or whatever it is calling for them to delay the game because there's an issue. There's an issue. They need to sort this out. This is before halftime. And they didn't sort the issue out. They went, is it offside? Is it not offside? Well, the game's restarted. We can't do anything now. So let's go back a second. The goal was called offside. They then thought they'd changed it to good goal, onside, right? So they changed it. The yellow card was given. They thought it was a red. They changed it. So at this point, they knew they should have changed that decision. But they decided now, hands are tied at this point. We can't possibly change it. The rules say, but the rules also say that was an onside goal. And you're going against that. So if you're going against that, you should be able to go against the fact that the game's restarted. And there's one rule somewhere where it says, once the game's restarted, we can't go back for stuff. Nonsense. So yeah. Also, if you're actually paying attention to a game, which VAR should be doing, right? That's their job, to pay attention to the game. And they thought they've awarded a goal. Why did they not see Spurs taking the restart from the center circle? Why didn't they immediately go, they're not in the center circle, we just had a goal? That's the rules. If we're going to go off the rules and we can't go back once you've restarted, the rules say that after a goal, the restart is from the center circle. If they're not seeing that, why didn't they say something? The ineptitude here is astonishing. And there's so many errors. So many times they could have put it right up to now, right? So that throw-in at the corner there, on the far side from the camera, at that point, you can see the referee's face that he's realized they've made a mistake. And he's hearing them saying, well, I can't go back now. We can't restart, right? He could have at that point blown the whistle and said, stop. We need to tell everyone what's gone on here and give the managers a decision to make. What do you want to do with this? That could have been an outcome at this point, rather than just say, let's go back. If you want to go purely on, we've had to restart, right? We've already restarted. We can't now go back on something. Go to the managers. Go to Ange Postecoglou and Klopp and say, look, really sorry, there's been a mistake. Honest to goodness mistake. They missed it. They didn't pay attention, whatever it is you want to say, and they called it wrong. It should have been given as a goal. We've already restarted, so we can't go back. I'm giving it up to you guys to call you on your players to what you want to do. Do you want to continue, or do you want to be good sportsmen about this? And I'm positive that after a couple of seconds discussion, what would have been agreed is they would have just taken a throw in and Spurs would have given the ball to Liverpool and stood aside as Liverpool could have dribbled it down and scored. So we could have got our goal and onwards, right? We're already a man down through a horrific decision by the VAR. Now we're a goal in the negative because of them. We should have had a goal. They've not given it to us. They accept that we should have had a goal. They've not given it to us. Give Spurs the option to give it to us then. If you're not going to do it, if you're not going to just give it to us, give Spurs the option. But you didn't. You didn't do that. We get to halftime. You still haven't said anything. It's disgusting. Then we start the second half. Jota runs behind a Spurs player. The Spurs player falls over himself, and there's a stupid yellow card, right? If you then add that to all the other stuff, it's getting silly now, right? Jota shouldn't have lashed out like he did for his second yellow card, where he kind of slid in. That was a bit of a silly move. However, just because he did a silly move doesn't excuse the fact that now we're down to 9 men, right? These referees, they were either trying to get on Spurs' side, or they're that astonishingly bad that they should not be refereeing at this level. Now, I've got to say that all credit to Spurs for hanging on against our tidal wave. Even at 9 versus 11, we were still, when we were in possession of the ball, looking dangerous and looking the more likely to score. So unlucky that Matip scored the own goal in the dying seconds. He played like a hero that day. So did all of the players that were on the field to play in the spirit they did and to not give up. That was fantastic. But if the referees are not going to perform at the same level, then what are they doing on the field? They should not be reffing again in the Premier League until they've gone through like 6 months of training so that they're back up. They're not. That's unfair. They shouldn't be refereeing at any level. Never mind Premier League. If the grassroots aren't allowed to have good refereeing, if the grassroots are allowed to have poor refereeing, that's unfair. They should have good refereeing. We should have good refereeing. These referees, if they can't do it at our level, shouldn't be able to do it at any level. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's have them out of football completely until they're retrained. They can do their jobs properly. That referee on the field can be strong and look at the VAR of the Curtis Jones tackle and go, you know what? No, there was no intent there. That should not be a red card. I see why you've brought it to my attention, but no, rather than doing what he did. The VAR people, the VAR team shouldn't have done what they've done to try and convince the referee it was a red, to try and change his opinion like that. They should just give the evidence and let the referee decide. To try and manipulate it in the way they did by showing that still frame is offside and they shouldn't be involved. Then you've got the goal situation. Then you've got the poor refereeing with the yellow card. There's just so many things. Now, I know this happens to every team. And it shouldn't. And that's why I'm personally saying that these referees should be retrained to know what the heck they're doing, because they clearly don't. No team should have to go through any of those things that we went through at the weekend, even though I know such and such a team had this, such and such a team had that happen to them. Two wrongs don't make a right. Just because there was a handball that wasn't given or there was a penalty that shouldn't have been in other games doesn't mean that what happened to us at the weekend is right. I'm speaking up as a Liverpool fan, and I hope that other fans speak up for their team, because none of us should be going through this. This is absolutely ridiculous. Next week, when we get together with, when it's me and Jordan again, I'm sure this will come up as a brief topic in amongst the whole weekend, because it spoiled a weekend. There was other talking points. The fact that the unbeaten Man City are now beaten. The unbeaten Liverpool are now beaten. What ramifications does this have on any potential title race? The injuries, the bans. There's so much that needs to be talked about, but the referees have made it about themselves, either by absolute ineptitude or corruption. Either way is just unacceptable. I don't think these the referees in general are out against Liverpool. That's nonsense, because every other team goes through this. Is it that we've got such inept referees that they cannot handle refereeing games? If so, why are we paying the Referees Association for them to turn up to games? Let's have some people who know what they're talking about. Or is it that they have biases, certain ones? Let's not forget, Klopp is currently on a one-match suspended sentence because of something he'd said last season about Paul Tierney, questioning what was happening there, because the calls didn't seem to make sense, specifically with him, with us. Now, there's other referees with other teams, other referees with other teams. We should all be able to question them all. If it does mean that certain referees don't referee certain matches, fine. I heard on TalkSport recently, it was actually today, that's a slippery slope. We shouldn't have to be doing that. Nonsense. If we have to do that, we have to do that. Whatever it takes to get impartial referees for that particular game. If a referee cannot be impartial against certain teams, then they either don't referee or don't referee those particular games. Something needs to be done, and something needs to be done now. This is coming from a football fan, but also a Liverpool fan, a very, very unhappy one with the performance of the referees and with the result, not with his team. I can't be prouder of my team for doing what they did in the face of such adversity put on them unfairly. I hope that no other team goes through this. Those fans that decide to laugh and mock at Liverpool fans, I honestly hope it doesn't happen to you. It happens to everyone in small doses. I cannot remember a game where a season's worth of issues all in one game. It's not just the offside. There was so much more that was wrong with that game. So much more. It needs to be addressed, and we need to move on. I hope we come back stronger in Europe. This will be Thursday this week. By the time this comes out, we'll have already played. Hopefully we'll have won. The score for that game is on the screen right now. Or if that was a bad one, whatever face you want to use for that one, let's have that one for that. And the next time we talk, Jordan will be back with us, and it will be briefly talking about the last match week where the Liverpool Spurs game was, and also the match week that's coming up this weekend. I don't know who's going to play. We've got these bans. Curtis Jones, just real quick before I finish, Curtis Jones, we appealed it to say, look at it again, because it's a 50-50, and a lot of people are saying yellow card is fair. And you turn around and you go, not only are we saying no to that, we're also going to tag on 3-game ban. 3-game ban. 3-game ban. It was not malicious intent. He didn't try and break the guy's legs. He went fairly for a tackle. And your punishment for that, for us asking if we can have that overturned and put back to the yellow that you originally said it was, and it should stay at, now you're going to give us a 3-match ban. Astonishing. It's what the refs are doing is more widespread than just disallowing a goal. I hope this is the end of this. I just fear that it isn't. We're going to be talking again about this and other events going forward for the rest of the season until VAR sort themselves out. We get rid of VAR or we get good referees. One of those 3 options has to happen soon. Hopefully coming at you next time in a better mood, because I'm just gritting my teeth going through this one. Goodbye, everyone.